Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to Tech Talk Tuesday for Teachers. It's always a delight to see all of you here, and it's a joy to present this whole piece to you. Well, today uh, I'm here, Meenakshi Oberoi, and I will be presenting to you promoting critical thinking with AI. Well, critical thinking, I think, is a cornerstone of effective teaching learning. It just empowers teachers to design more meaningful lessons and equip students, to be able to analyze, to be able to evaluate, to be able to create. And I think it just helps you move beyond that memorization piece, or simply just presenting of facts and information to something that is more meaningful. So, a very warm welcome, and let's, without further ado, start this session. Take it ahead with what is it that we are going to talk about today. Um, I would actually want you to think about what is critical thinking actually. If you dwell deeper into what is critical thinking, and if I try and give you a very bookish language, it'll be like it is the ability of, ability of a person to think clearly, logically, and independently in order to make reasoned judgments. That's what the dictionary, or the standard definition of critical thinking would be. And I think it involves something more deeper, something, uh, if I try and understand this in a very simple language, that, what is it that we do in critical thinking? And I say that, critical thinking is basically getting your brain to begin working in multiple directions. How could this be done? By asking questions, that's basic. By checking the facts that are being presented to you, not just accepting. Let's say the sky is blue in color. And the day we say the sky is blue in color, the students will immediately look outside to find that blue color. And guess what? Within that class, there will be students who know that the sky doesn't look blue, but it looks bluish because it may have shades of purple, blackish, grayish, probably even shades of whites. So every student may not agree with, the sky being blue. And yes, Nidima, you're absolutely right. They'll start thinking deeply, asking whys and hows. So your asking of questions become open-ended, not just restricted to what is critical thinking or why. Is the color of the sky blue? You go ahead and ask. Uh, what if I say it's not blue and it's bluish pink? Another child will get up to say, no, I think it is grayish blue. Another child might say, I think it's a lot of shades of blue. There is a complete story on this also. It's called The Sky. It's by Peter H. Reynolds. And if you haven't read that, you have to read that to your children. It's such a beautiful piece because it encourages critical thinking, and it gives you very simple ways of bringing critical thinking into your classroom. Also, what it does is the students start connecting that to their daily lives. For example, in real life, if I look at the sky every day and I ask them to notice the sky, the shades change a little bit. But if I ask them that, let's maintain a weekly record of the shades of colors that you see in the sky, they will go through summer, monsoon, then they'll go through winter, they go through autumn. There are so many changes that come in, and they start noticing. They start thinking critically. They start thinking about how, with the change in the weather, the shades of the cloud changes and who has an impact on whom. So it encourages different ideas. It helps them compare and contrast. It helps them check the facts. So when they go to their art class and their teacher says, let's color the sky or let's try and make some clouds today, they will think before they pick up the color blue, which automatically all of us will do. Yeah. So they're not just memorizing, they're asking the whys in the house, like you said. They're thinking before agreeing. They're solving problem in a way that They are finding their own thinking stems. We are not necessarily asking them to think like that. We may teach them a way to think, but we are not thinking for them. We start thinking with them. We start challenging assumptions. We start evaluating, what is it that's happening? I mean, the sky, if you look around a 360-degree itself, you will find so many shades. You start identifying patterns. Oh, you know what? The shape of the cloud. That shape of the cloud looks like a fluffy cloud. The other one looks like a flat cloud. You start identifying, various shapes that are being formed in the clouds. You start identifying or, considering multiple perspectives. Maybe that cloud is heavier because it's looking fluffy and, big. The other one is not holding that much water. This one is holding more water, right? You start making informed decisions that when the clouds get heavier, they may rain. They may result in rain. So, what we are doing over here at the core, we are actually promoting critical thinking. We're not just accepting all the information that is being presented into our class or in to us on the face value. We are letting it process. We're letting us ourselves reflect on it. We are allowing ourselves to respond to it. And yes, in all of this, we are thinking deeply. We are thinking in a divergent manner into multiple places. And we're also looking for misinformation. We're also building students' independent decision making, and we are moving them out of that passive receiver stage where they're only receiving information. We're also strengthening their innovation and ideation, thinking out of the box, and enhancing their academic performance without really mentioning that, we are working in that particular area. So you see how it changes? You're simply just giving them an open playground to think critically. They engage in inquiry, they engage in critical thinking, they engage in analysis, they engage in real world application without really putting them in formal words. And essentially, all your 21st century skills are at play. They are communicating, they are thinking critically, they are thinking creatively, they are also problem solving. So, all your 21st century skills come alive with such minimal efforts. And the key components here are the students will be analyzing whatever information they have, they will break it down into smaller pieces to understand or simpler. For example, the cloud is blue. I've always learned that. I think since kindergarten, I've been coloring the cloud as blue. But is it really blue? So you start thinking in a different manner. You start analyzing why is a particular part of the sky more blue than the other part of the sky? You start evaluating, you start assessing how accurate is it or relevant is it to say that the sky is blue? You start looking at the source of who told me this, and is it in a biased opinion or is it an opinion or a fact? You start coming or jumping to logical conclusions. You start a pure scientific inquiry. You have a phenomenon, the sky is blue. Student form a hypothesis. Not really. I see many shades of blue. You test them by looking around in all directions to see if the sky is already blue, always blue or blue all around. You keep a record of how each every day outside my window I see a piece of sky. How does that piece of sky change over the day, over the week, over the months? And how do I refine my thinking about the color of the sky by actually engaging in this scientific engagement? I'm questioning, I'm asking the right questions, I'm making questions which are more purposeful. I'm asking questions that are more relevant. I'm asking questions that make sense, and I'm solving problems uh, that are related to me, connected to me, and I can actually make that connect. I'm not making I'm not jumping to conclusions. I'm making some assumptions based on what I am looking at. And then I reflect on all my thinking. And this entire thinking process that I've been engaging before, actually, I can form a decision whether sky is blue or not. This is metacognition at play. This is where I'm using data to rely on my conclusion. This is where I'm gauging pros and cons. This is where I'm engaging in logical reasoning. I'm happy to, jump in and discuss this further, but I think I've conveyed the core of critical thinking and that we are on the same page about critical thinking. What does AI have to do over here? Yeah, you may ask. Well, AI, when used thoughtfully, I think becomes a very powerful catalyst rather than just a shortcut. Normally people will say, oh, yeah, 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 ask AI, that's like a quick fix, let's do it. No, engage with AI purposefully, meaningfully, thoughtfully, and let it become a catalyst in thinking rather than just an offload into, let AI think for me. Here's how AI can help you in various ways. It can enhance critical thinking by encouraging you to ask better questions. It'll offer you questions. It is up to you what you choose to take forward. AI responds to the quality of prompts that you give. So we must think about the prompt that we are giving it. For example, if I simply say, is this color of the sky really blue? What response do I expect or form questions about this? Let's try this, okay? Because if I keep only talking, it's really going to be all talk and no show. And it's not so when you come to Tech Talk Tuesdays. We talk a lot and we work a lot. So I'm going to take you to Copilot to ask the same question, what I have asked you here, okay? Is the color of the sky blue? Mm, share questions. I'm simply writing a very vague kind of a prompt. Even I don't know what I want to do. And it's all right to start like that. There's no harm. Because when we start, we are all not going to be like great at asking or putting up the right prompt, right? Then it'll give you a response which will say, yes, the sky appears blue and this is called a railing scattering. My God, what is that? Where shorter wavelengths of the why is it giving me such complex information? Because I didn't say what class or grade students I was talking to. I didn't say the level at which my students know or don't know about it. It has given me certain inquiry-based questions because it knows the nature of, questions that I normally ask. You may not get this. So if you want, I can also turn this into a student's worksheet class. Okay, it can do all of that. But what I need students to think critically. Remember, I was engaging in critical thinking about this. Now, what should I add? I need my class 3 students to think about this, critically about this. And I'll get a couple of questions. Critical thinking. Is color of the sky blue? What do you notice? Now, do you see the change? This is where critical thinking begins. You start by asking simpler questions. What color is the sky right now? Is it always blue, the same shades? Imagine it's giving almost the same questions what I was asking. Yeah? Is it really listening to me? Well, maybe it is listening to you. Really depends on whether you have checked your settings or not. Are you allowing it to listen to you or not? And then you go into what makes you think that. You start reasoning. Why do you think sky looks blue most of the time? What do you think is happening in the air that makes the sky look blue? What if? What if the sun was a different color? Interesting. What color do you think the sky would be? I would actually go through this and pick up a set of, let's say, 5 to 7 questions. Make them into discussion cards. True and false, think, pair, share, agree or disagree. I love the agree or disagree. Yeah. And make a prediction. At different stages, I will give my students first, knowledge check by asking true or false. Number two, engage in critical thinking by saying think, pair, share. Number three, challenge each other by taking a agree or disagree. Number four, make a prediction. Now, prediction will also be a form of reflection where you're not saying that this is reflection, but basically you're asking them to draw a conclusion by writing or are inviting them to write a prediction. Now, you see what I did? I created a whole flow of thoughts for my students to engage in critical thinking. With AI, that is, with the help of AI, I could actually bring in this whole piece alive as critical thinking piece. There are many ways to do this, and I can give you more. For example, I want to provide multiple perspectives to students, right? That was also one of the ways. You already have perspectives over here, yeah? But I'm going to ask for more. I'm going to say, I need students to have perspective on this. Tell me how. Will everything be just a question, or can I do something else as well? Show different photos of the sky. Now, I don't have those pictures, right? Remember that. Not a problem. Use a point of view circle. What color do you think is the sky? Before showing them, ask them this. Listen to them. Let them say their mind. And they say, which color is the sky in Ladakh, in Mumbai, in a polluted day? What does it look like? Well, so if a child from Ladakh and a child from Delhi answer the same question, they will have same answers. But over here, we have something called create. Now, over here, you have the ability to create images, to create different types of infographics, and also to create a video. Let me generate a video and let me say shades of sky on different days. Okay, it could be blue, it could be pink, it could be white, it could be gray. I'm just going to ask it to generate a video for me on this. Within seconds, it will give me a video with a narration. You can turn off the narration if you want. You can actually put it on silent, or you can go to clipart and put your voice into it and make that audible for students. Let them hear it. Or you could simply just mute this and talk through it. If I were you, I would show them this video and invite them to share their perspectives now based on what they are looking at. What this does is it helps bringing in visualization for students. They're able to see, they're able to hear, they're able to make more perspectives because of the kind of imagery that has been shown over here. Also, it helps them broaden, they might not remember what exactly are the shades of sky on a rainy day. But here you are. You're giving them this kind of a video. It'll be ready in just about a few seconds. There you go. It's ready. And guess what? This is where you can make changes. Possibility under blue, pink evening sky. So here is where you are bringing in perspectives. Let me see. Yes, sound is shared. Let me allow you to hear this first.
Look up. Every day, the sky writes a different story above us, often unnoticed, quietly breathtaking. Some mornings, a soft blue spreads endlessly, calm and welcoming. It promises a fresh beginning, gentle and full of hope. On days like these, the world feels open, as if anything is possible under that serene canopy. Then, as day slips toward evening, a blush of pink may sweep across the sky. It's fleeting, delicate, like a whispered secret between the sun and the clouds. These moments invite us to pause, to watch for the quiet transformations above. Sometimes the sky turns white, washed with the pure brightness of clouds. It creates a diffused light, softening the edges of the earth, wrapping the day in tranquility. Under this pale veil, everything feels calm and still. And there are grey days, silent and thoughtful. Layers of cloud roll over, carrying the promise of rain or simply a cool hush. The grey isn't dull, it's comforting, reminding us that change is natural, part of the rhythm of the world. Each shade tells its own story. Blue, pink, white, or grey. They're invitations to look up, to breathe, and to appreciate the shifting canvas that curls quietly above us every single day.
How beautiful was that, isn't it? Well, if you want to make any changes, you could always do that. Everything is available for you over here to make the changes. Even in, voice, you can actually have different types of voices. This was like a fable, as if a story was being told to you. You can change the music, whatever you want. So AI is here to help you create or, open in Clipchamp and just record your voice as you like it. This is very simply downloadable as well. All you need to do is export and share or simply just download it. Okay. Now what this has enabled is bring in perspectives. So many shades of gray. And if I were you, I would take, this, allow my students to view it over and over, probably at no volume, right? A zero volume. I'll just cancel this, otherwise it'll take time. Over here, I may mute this whole video and run it. And while I do so, I can very easily show them various shades, allow them to think, observe, and then probably write about it or come up with perspectives, come up with more thoughts about it. So there are different shades and different ways in which you can actually bring it alive and take it to your class. So simple, isn't it? Well, you could even have created an image. That was simple. You could have also created an infographic. Let's say you want to create many types of clouds, or you want to talk in words over here. You could do whatever you want. There are multiple infographics to choose from. You could even go for a story, design a poster about clouds, or do whatever you want. There's a banner, and there are so many more things that you can do, or even create a presentation for that matter, right? So, what I'm trying to tell you here is when you're ready with the things that you want to do, it's always nice to just go to AI and take help from AI to bring this critical thinking into your classroom. While we do that, I've already walked you through, many pieces here of comparing, evaluation, of how a safe sandbox for exploration can be created. You've created a video. Now the students are going to explore. Now, help build metacognition is what children were engaging in. They were thinking, they were prodding, they were scaffolding, they were bringing their, ideas from what they had learned earlier and connecting them over here. So, what we are also doing is over here building in differentiation. Every child doesn't talk, every child doesn't think, every child doesn't speak the same way, and we know that. And it's personalized learning that comes into play because you are going to explain that in your own way, in the simpler, deeper, or a beginner level or an advanced level, but it's your way of explaining. So the cognitive engagement over here increases like anything. You start analyzing, you start connecting with questions. It could be, to create a prototype for deep learning or probably refine inquiry questions. For example, I have a few questions. Remember, I had those inquiry questions. Now, those inquiry questions that AI could offer to me were much finer than the ones that I could come up with. Or probably, I will start thinking from there that if these are the inquiry questions, probably I can also engage in critical thinking and, think deeper, think in a divergent manner, and that gives me more ideas to talk more, gives me more ideas or ways to see how I can take this forward. And I can model this thinking aloud in front of my students. I can generate more sample questions. I can improve the quality of prompts that I'm giving, and also, improve, probably identify the gaps. Oh, this is what they don't understand. Probably in the next time, I'm going to pick up from here. AI provides me example from multiple perspectives, counter arguments, alternative examples, or explanations, or real world examples. Let me give you a very simple example. AI will generate three reasons for or against uniform policies. Students will evaluate whether those points are stronger than the way they think, and if not, why. What they're doing is both the things. One, they are taking ideas from what you're presenting to them about the uniform policy. Two, they are lending their ideas as well. Very clearly, they are engaging in critical thinking and perspectives are being formed. AI enables comparison and evaluation. What it does is teachers use AI to generate correct or biased responses intentionally, prepare contrasting summaries, and produce multiple solution paths. For example, teacher shows two AI written summaries to students about the World War II. Students compare this to their textbook, identify inaccuracies and gaps. I love doing this exercise with my students. You know, I would love to demonstrate this in front of you, and I'm going to go back to Copilot for this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to design an infographic. In this infographic, I'm going to say proper noun and common noun is what I want them to identify. I want them to include information in tiny font about identifying, about uh, misconceptions, about AI, about proper and common noun, and counter thinking question. Okay, I've just written this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a poster. And yes, I can check the spellings. Being a teacher, I cannot let it go. It's going to create a kind of an infographic about proper noun and common noun. In fact, in my last session, this is what I was doing. If you were there, you know what I was doing, right? This is different. Why? My perspective has changed. Now, I don't want a poster about proper and common noun. I want critical thinking enabled in my classroom. So instead of just putting up, repeating what I say in the class and I put it or present it to them or put it in on my board or my screen, I present to them a scenario to engage them into critical thinking. I'm allowing ways for them to not just ask better questions about what they're being presented, or give me multiple perspectives, but I'm asking them to compare and evaluate what has been presented to them. Here is a beautiful, safe way of showing them various perspectives of what's happening. It has given you generic and it has given you specific names. One, they're not Indian. You may go over here, say that please use only Indian context to it, and it'll give you only Indian context. By now, you know we can tweak these things in AI and ask. I presented misconceptions here. All nouns are capitalized. That's a misconception. Challenge it. Evaluate. Look at this above to say not capitalized, and look at this always capitalized. So, what's right and wrong? Challenge this. Let them have a discussion about this. It's just one sentence. Give them 3 minutes to think, and in the next 2 minutes, you can clarify, and that's about it. So, even if you make space for about 5 minutes for critical thinking in every classroom, I think it's a battle won. Proper nouns are just fancy words. Are they though? Well, come to think of it, yeah, they might be fancy words. New York, Nile River, Mrs. Smith, they are fancy. Harry Potter, Mount Everest, actually, they're very fancy things. No, they're not fancy, they're actual names. But they sound fancy also. Now, look, what did I do? I started engaging and contradicting and counter thinking and evaluating whether it is true or not. That's a thought that you would want to take back to the class. Can a common noun become a proper noun? Hmm, that's interesting. I don't know. Let's try. They will start thinking about it. That's a question that you can give to them as a homework. Let them think about it and come back to you with examples. This is something that you can present to them for a 5-minute thought, or simply just put it up on your board along with this to say, I'd love to hear your thoughts about it. And that's it. Your job is done. You've engaged them in critical thinking just the way you wanted them to engage them. So, the most beautiful part is AI just helps me enable these kind of thinking styles in my classroom in very simple and meaningful ways, which are relatable, which are very doable, and I think which are also something that doesn't take too much time. I mean, look at this. I mean, while talking to you over here itself, I've started doing something, in front of you, and I've started creating space for this kind of thinking right here. I don't have to wait. I simply just need, to go back into Copilot, and that too, if you're working in any of the pieces across, which means or your office tools, well, you could actually do it over there as well, because Copilot is built within your Word, PowerPoint, Excel, every space, right? So why not? So you start engaging students there and then as the question or the thought arises. Whether that thought arises to you or with your students really doesn't matter. A thought is a thought, right? So, what we are looking at is we are looking at ways in which we can make critical thinking visible in your classrooms. Simple steps, even if you do not have a device in your classroom. Even if you don't have device, yes, I'm repeating myself because you as a teacher can ask questions from AI, prepare those and come to the class, right? About the topic that the students are going to learn. Step two, teacher shows the answer, AI answer to students. Students will evaluate. Is it accurate, complete, or logical? Students will improve the answer. They will rewrite. They will annotate. Okay, no, I think this is right, but this is not right. For example, a simple statement like, "Is the color the color of the sky is blue, but sometimes it's not blue." Now that's a statement that you brought to class, gave it to students, and just wrote two words next to it. Is it? That's simple questioning. Bring in some more questions using AI. Give to each group of students to think like this. Next, the students start working in groups or, pairs or triads for that matter. However, they are sitting. If movement is not possible, well, that's all right. Smaller groups. And that's exactly where they start thinking about, oh, is this accurate? Is this complete? Is this logical? And then they start writing their own thoughts over there. And then students explain their reasoning. Or they love to tell you, ma'am, I thought this, but this happened. So it is absolutely possible to bring in critical thinking into your classroom. Here are some more examples of the same. Let's say, you're on Teach module. You know Teach module in Copilot. You go there and select Enhance with AI. Not just give your lesson plan or give your flashcards to make, you enhance with AI. Ask Copilot to update the assessment so students must explain the reasoning and justify the answers. That's the only addition that you're doing. That's the only ask that you have from Copilot to not just prepare questions, but also invite students into engaging, into reasoning and probably justifying their answer. Tough, no? Sounds very tough. But if you give it to AI to say, remember, my students are early learners, their English language skills are not very strong, so be gentle. Oh, it'll give you beautiful pieces. Adjust the tone, length, and language, and of course, do check for facts. Always read before you accept. And if you want to make any changes, ask the Copilot or AI to regenerate, and then go ahead and make it. Here's another activity. We'll use your Copilot as your thinking partner to design a short activity for students that requires them to think and reason and not just answer. There isn't one perfect prompt for it, you and I know, but the goal is to practice that shaping a prompt in such a way that you can reuse this approach in any subject or grade level. So, we'll do this in three quick ways. First, clarify what thinking you want students to do. You want to engage in critical thinking, you want to engage in um, creative thinking, you want them to engage in communication. What kind of engagement do you want? Then ask Copilot to give ideas and then refine the activity. So these are the three pieces that you can take back to your class. And while you are thinking about it, you say, what is the topic or content? Please think of the topic first. It's always content first. Whenever we have tried engaging with AI, I've always said this. Please don't think about the tool or don't seek information. Think of the topic. Let's say water cycle or color of the sky. What kind of thinking do you want to do? Choose one of these. Explain reasoning, evaluate evidence, compare perspective, decide and justify, or identify assumptions or biases. You may choose any one or any two. After that, start exploring. Write your first prompt and focus on the topic and what you think you want them to do. And what constraints do you think you'll have? For example, too many students in a class. I have only 30 minutes, but out of 30 minutes, I can only lend 10 minutes on this activity. Say so. Age group. Even within the age group, say the students are at grade 4 level, but the thinking could be at grade 1 level or at grade 4 level. So it is a range of, age groups that you are sending away. And complexity levels is what you can decide. As you explore, a sample prompt could be create an activity for grade level, subject, students about topic, and students should do this type of thinking, and students should finish in about this much of time. You see, create an activity for primary science students about mammals. Students should explain their reasoning. Students should finish in 30 minutes. So simple, isn't it? Well, after that, as you get the response, you may want to improve it. Now, if I take a closer look at this, AI's response is like thinking like a partner. So it'll talk to you about, well, this is the kind of support that you can provide your students. This is what you could offer, but who needs to choose? It's you. You need to choose what is it that you can send to the class because your students, I think you're the best judge of what your students learn, the learning levels are. And at least one way to improve this activity is what you're looking for. So you can choose more than one, of course, but look for specific improvements. Don't be generic. I don't like this, give me more. That's pretty generic. So go deeper. You could ask Copilot to require students to use more evidence. You could ask Copilot to probably ask students to compare different ideas or explain their thinking or what are the steps that they took when they were forming this idea. So it'll give you a detailed, annotations of where is it that you can pause to make them help them think. Or you could even say that uh, think about your students and say some may need more support, others may need some challenge level. So give me all kinds. So what you need to do over here is you may want to think from various perspectives what kind of improvement do you want AI to make for you. So rather than being just generic to say, help me improve this, you give them an area of improvement. That area of improvement could be students to use more evidence or include more than one possible right answer or point of view for that matter, explain their steps, like I said. It could be any of these. And then reflect. Take a moment to share uh, to actually mull over this or share with a colleague to say, you know what, I did something different. I think I changed the way, the students are trying to learn in the classroom. Do you think it'll work? Because always remember, HI is always bigger than AI. Therefore, you may want to share it with a colleague, run it by a colleague to say, what do you think about this activity? Take about a few minutes to mull over it, make the change if required to make this activity stronger, or logistically if you think it is not possible. How does the activity support deeper thinking, or does it or does it? It doesn't. It really depends on the way you want to present it. One thing you would adjust before using is this activity is you have to adjust it to your students' level of understanding, knowledge, preparedness. And how this entire process of using the AI tools is helping you is it's helping you transform the way you are presenting information to students. AI as your thinking collaborator, and students as I think they become active evaluators rather than passive receivers. So, in this entire piece of what I have presented to you today, I'm promoting critical thinking at various levels in different ways and presenting information to students in a way that they start thinking about it rather than accepting everything on face value. I hope I've been able to drive the idea back to you. And of course, if you want a deeper conversation, if you would like for your school to host these sessions for your school individually, you're most welcome to invite us to your school. We have our PD portfolio. I'll be happy to share this in our chat window. And of course, there is a test today that you can take to earn the certificate. You can take a test and this test will have about 5 questions only. Please take this test. You have to clear this test with 80% marks, and then to be able to earn the certificate, you will have to pay a simple amount of rupees 200. How to do all of that? I'm pushing it in your chat window. I've just sent all the links for you to take away. And I know you want to take the test, so I'm letting this, allowing this whole piece to be here for you so that I'll actually give you the link to the test separately right now. It's very interesting to see how well you take to these tests to earn your certificate. So go ahead and take a test. I'll also share the QR code with you. And I love to see, how all these results, we can see. I love to see how, people make an effort to even take a retest. Yes, you can take a retest for as many times as you'd like. And, it's up to you how you want to firm up your understanding. And of course, I am also going to share with you the calendar for February, the month of February. Please share it as widely as you want in your community because it's important for many people to join us to make these learning sessions more impactful, more meaningful. Please share this calendar within your school. Invite as many teachers as you want. We have a large capacity here. And I will see you on 3rd of February with a new topic which is beyond lesson planning with AI. Till then, be good to take the test. And of course, please do provide us a feedback. We thrive on your feedback, and you know that we take notice of what you say or how you think, and if you're comfortable or not. Therefore, please do share your candid feedback with us. I'm just sharing this link in the chat window so that you have this as well separately with you. But most of all, and of course, don't forget to follow us on Instagram if you're not following us already. We share a lot of snippets, a lot of ways to continue learning and share updates as well with you. So, above all, thank you so much for joining us here today. I'm going to pause here. If you have any questions, I'm very much here to answer. Otherwise, thank you once again for joining us. Have a wonderful week ahead.